Welcome to AWS What's New. I'm Jeff Barr. Today I've got 3 launches I handpicked for you. By the way, before we get into it, I love your likes, I love your subscribes. Let's get going. First up, a brand new addition to Amazon Comprehend. So this service gives you natural language processing for your text. What does that mean? Well, it digs deep into your text, it finds insights, and it finds relationships. To do this, it uses machine learning models for things like entities and key phrases and sentiments. All right, so what's new? Well, Amazon Comprehend can now find PII, that's short for personally identifiable information, in your documents. PII is that sensitive stuff. It could be social security numbers, credit card numbers, or email addresses. To recognize this, we built some brand new machine learning models. You can use this to add a protective layer to your applications. Scan your documents, find some PII where it shouldn't be, raise an alarm, batten down the hatches, figure out how that information got there. You can try this out from the console, and you can also wire it into your own applications using just a little bit of code. To learn more and to see how really cool this is, read the What's New. Next, I want to tell you about an awesome feature called S3 Object Lambda. In my job, I'm really not supposed to play favorites, but I gotta tell you, between you and me, this is absolutely by far my favorite feature so far this year. All the other teams are going to come after me for that, but that's just kind of the way it goes. All right, so this is a really simple concept. What you do, you write a Lambda function, and your Lambda function is going to be activated on the get of an S3 object. Once it's activated, your function's got 30 seconds of freedom, and it can do all kinds of really cool stuff in that 30 seconds. It can take that base S3 object, it can filter what's in the object, it can enhance it, it can modify it, it can even generate some additional metadata. Every time I think about this, I get actually dozens of ideas. It's almost like I've got this brand new hammer. I'm running around the house looking for things to hammer. So with that said, here's some of my favorite ideas for ways you might be able to use this feature. I just told you about Amazon Comprehend. You could use that as part of your Lambda function to make sure that you don't inadvertently return PII to a caller that doesn't need to have it. You might have some text in a file, and you could use Amazon Translate to translate that text from its original language to the language that you want to give it back to the caller in. All kinds of ways you can do image processing. Really simple one, you can simply change the format of an image. Maybe you store everything in GIF format, the caller tells you they want a JPEG, just go ahead and do that and return it. Going a bit deeper, all kinds of cool image processing. You could resize, you could reshape, you could annotate the images. Maybe you combine this with use of Amazon Recognition. Recognition takes a look at your image or your video and says, there's a dog, there's a fish, there's a pen in there. Take that, add that as some additional metadata, return the annotated image. Recognition also tells you about the location of faces within an image. Maybe you want to redact those so they're not actually returned as part of the image. I could just keep on going with these, but let me give you just one more. You store everything in the form of audio files, but the caller says, I need some text. Run that through Amazon Transcribe, return the finished transcript. Well, once again, it's either a hammer or it's a Swiss Army knife. Really not quite sure which, or maybe it's actually both, but it's up to you. You've got all kinds of cool use cases. I'm sure you've got a better imagination than I do. Take this great feature, build something awesome, let me know all about it. Oh, to learn a lot more, you can read Daniela's blog post. All right, now for my last item, a little bit special. This is a really cool, powerful course that's called AWS Cloud Technical Essentials. I'm a huge believer in lifelong learning. I find that the half-life of information and knowledge in our field is probably about 18 months. So 18 months down the road, maybe half of what you know isn't as valid or as relevant anymore. So learning is really, really important in tech. Now, I think back to when I was young, when I was 10 or 12 years old and really just getting started learning about computers, it was actually really difficult to get your hands on information. There was no internet. This was long, long, long before the advent of Amazon. Not a whole lot of great content in libraries, if you could even get there. And simply getting to a bookstore was a lot of trouble. The world is so much better and so much different today. We've got the internet, we've got the ability to search for things, we've got awesome videos of all sorts, we've got tutorials, just so much great stuff available for free. And I think this opportunity for you just to continue learning, continue growing is better now than ever before. I present to you as an example, the AWS Cloud Technical Essentials course. This is free and you can get it for free on Coursera and on edX. If you're in a technical role, if you're a developer, if you're an architect, if you're in operations, this is going to be a great course for you. You can learn about AWS services for compute and for storage and for database, and you also learn how to actually apply those to very specific use cases. To learn more and to get started with this course, you can read the What's New. And those are my 3 launches I chose for you this week. Gotta tell you, I love your feedback. Love reading all the comments. Chris, love the fact that you shared it with your cat. Hope your cat really enjoyed it as much as you did. We got a great question this week from Danny Burke. Danny gets a Jeff Barr bobblehead. And Danny asks, when will CDK support for Golang be released? Danny, that's a really good question. I didn't happen to know the answer. I went to the Slack channel for the CDK team, posted it there, and they said, well, Jeff, this is actually our top requested feature. We're working really hard toward the dev preview. Didn't want to share a date, but they're working really hard to get that ready for you. They also said you can find the RFC and the tracking board online. So find those and you can follow along as we get ready for launch. That's all I've got for you for this week. Click through, leave us a like, subscribe, share, tell your colleagues, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your cat, and tell your dog. Next week, I'm going to be taking a quick break. We've got a great guest presenter lined up. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to see you again soon.